Well, hello. Welcome to Chandler in Focus. I'm Council Member Kevin Hartke, and our topic of discussion today is homelessness awareness. My guests today are Ryan Balch, who works with the City of Chandler. We stole her from Phoenix. And Priscilla Acero with the great organization and partner with Chandler, Ascent. Welcome. I'm glad you're both able to be here today.
Thanks. Good to be here.
So let's start with introductions. Why don't we start with you, Ryan? Tell us about your role and what you do with the City of Chandler and your specific engagement addressing homelessness.
Okay. Well, I just got to the City of Chandler in December, but I've been working in the field of homelessness for over 20 years. I'm very passionate about it. And I have the opportunity here to work in the Neighborhood Resources Department, where I'm the Community Resources Manager. And I oversee homeless programs as one of my duties, along with other social services and community activities.
And I think you're right. Most people that I have had the opportunity of working with continuum of care, it is not a job, it is a passion. It's a calling, it's the sense of I'm going to make a big difference. And I want to thank you for your role with that.
Thank you.
So Priscilla, tell us what your engagement is with Ascent.
So I'm the homeless housing program manager at Ascent. Been there for 6 years. And I am passionate to work with people experiencing homelessness. I've done different roles there, as the benefit coordinator, to the TBRA case manager, to IHELP case manager, and now I'm the program manager who oversees the two programs.
Very good. So a question for both of you, but first again, we'll start with you, Ryan. How much of an issue is homelessness in the Greater Valley and the region? And you're probably aware of even beyond. You know, what are we seeing nationally, regionally, and then Priscilla can give us some specifics about our community.
Sure. Well, you're right. Homelessness has been, unfortunately, I think it's a big issue for people now because they're sort of seeing more of it. But actually, since about 2013 here in the Valley, in the Maricopa region, it's really been steady at just under 6,000. So anywhere from 5,700 to 6,000 since 2013. But in 2018, we actually saw a pretty good jump to 6,300. So it is on the rise. The biggest difference being the number of people who are sheltered versus unsheltered. So that is flip-flopping. There used to be more folks sheltered, and now there's more folks on the streets. So that really makes a big difference to how it feels in our community. And it's a big concern. It is on the rise here, and it is on the rise nationwide.
And you're right. I think most people are unaware of someone who is experiencing homelessness if they're off the streets or if they're sheltered in one capacity, even though they still qualify as a sheltered homeless. But it's the person at street corners, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but are the evidence of what people might see around their community. Priscilla, talk to us about Chandler.
So I am a resident of Chandler all my life. And I do see a rise in homelessness. And we've been seeing more people coming into Ascent for assistance or coming to get help to come into our shelter. And unfortunately, we only can hold up to 25 in our homeless shelter.
Okay. So can you give us an overview of the programs related to homelessness that Ascend offers our community?
So we do have the CAP office, which can help a family who might be on the verge of becoming homeless to get rental assistance for move-in cost. We have, and we do diversion, try to help them that they do not become homeless. And then we have our TBRA program, which could help a homeless family be housed up to 2 years. And then we have a rapid rehousing program, which we can help them up to 3 months, but every case is different, and it could be longer than the 3 months, depending. And then we do have our IHELP shelter, which again houses up to 25 clients, individuals. We don't help with the families. IHELP started in 2013 with just 3 days, and with faith-based organizations that open their doors at night for homeless individuals to have a safe place to stay at night. and now we're up to 7 days. And when they do enter our shelter, our iHelp shelter, we do provide case management so that we can help them get a job, save money, so that when a housing opportunity does come up, like they're ready to move on, move forward.
So I know that some people have expressed concern that people with iHelp that they carry issues with them, that they're not scrutinized, or they're not searched to make sure that they're not carrying things, or that they travel in and out and become a risk to the community. Talk to us about that and about the program and the security measures in place and the expectations.
So when they do come into our iHelp program, we do have them fill out an application, and then we do screen them to see if they are sex offenders. And when they do come into intake, we do check their backpacks thoroughly. We make them take everything out and make sure that there is no weapons or anything that is harmful to our other clients. But other than that, we've never had a situation where anybody was in danger. Never.
Yeah. I think I've been involved with iHelp since the beginning. I think we're actually the very first location. And I had something pop up on my Facebook memories this week of 4 years ago this month. The shower trailer came on. So that's been an exciting addition as well. Any overall stats you can give us roughly? You mentioned about 25 people. Any idea of how many we have helped, or how many we helped generically with housing or jobs through the Ascent program?
Yes. So last year we had over 7,000 people stay at our shelter.
So separate bed nights.
Bed nights, separate bed nights.
Mm-hmm.
And then out of the clients that do come to our program, we've probably had over 200 of them get jobs.
Mm-hmm.
We've housed over 100 people, like through our tenant-based rent, TBRA, the rapid rehousing and programs. But yeah, and we do divert them to CAP office because some of them do have jobs and they're overqualified to come into our programs. So CAP will help them with the first month's rent, utility deposits, and they're on their own.
Okay.
But yeah.
So I think maybe about 460 or so have actually go through in a year, and you helped about 200 with jobs, about another 100, and the others, they might move back home. Maybe their situation of becoming homelessness was domestic, or maybe a job didn't work out and a relative invited them to come back to Michigan or New York or whatever. So everyone's got their own unique story, don't they?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. But there's a lot of success stories too.
There's been tremendous success stories.
Yes.
Ryan, tell us about the Chandler Homeless Navigation Team and how it has benefited our community.
Sure. So our Chandler Connect program, we have 2 fantastic peer navigators that work just for us. They work 7 days a week, and for the audience, a peer navigator is somebody that has experienced homelessness and or mental illness, or perhaps they've had an addiction that they're in recovery from. And so they're really great because they've been there, done that, and they're really passionate, and now they're doing the work to help others. And so we have 2. They work 7 days a week now here in the city of Chandler. And what they do is they go out on the streets and they engage with people that are experiencing homelessness. And they do things like tell them about our iHelp program. And sometimes it takes a couple days to build a relationship, and maybe they spend a night at iHelp and learn a little bit more about that. Maybe they just take them to go take a shower at the shower trailer or one of our other community services. And they build that relationship until they're really able to get them into the services that they need. It could be recovery, it could be shelter, it could be even straight to housing through our tenant-based rental assistance program or our rapid rehousing programs. Could be back in with a relative or friend. so many things. But the navigators are really there to go access the people that aren't coming to us and asking for help. So
Okay.
they're just such a treasure.
So they probably have some regular people that they've already met that they do check up on during the day, as well as if the city gets a phone call or you get a phone call, then you will
I also funnel
send
all
them
of
out?
those people to them. Yep, I get
Sure.
phone calls from just concerned citizens. Chandler has a lot of concerned citizens. They're never calling because they don't like what they see. They're calling because they're concerned about someone, and I'm able to give the navigator a description and a location, and they're off. And they go and they engage with that person, and we've had tremendous success already.
I do get a few phone calls of people
Yeah.
who don't like things in Chandler. So if you want, I could check some of those
You can
your
share
way.
those with me too. But by and large, I think people are mostly concerned.
Yeah. So we work very well, the city and Ascend, to provide housing and to help people maintain it. Can you talk a little bit more about that in terms of how we interface with Ascend
Yeah.
in housing?
Absolutely. So Ascend, as our community action program in our community, is just a vital resource for us. They do so many things. Like Priscilla said, they run the gamut from helping a family with a rental payment to prevent homelessness, to helping a family pay a deposit so they can get into an apartment, to running, emergency shelter for singles who then move on to some form of housing. And then, there's a million other programs. And how we work with them, they're almost like an extension of the city in a way to me. That's how valuable Ascend is to me. We provide some of the funding that Ascend receives through our general funds. So we support many of the programs that Ascend has. We also work just really hand in hand with Ascend on our tenant-based rental assistance program, where our public housing authority manages rental payments for people experiencing homelessness to move into market rate housing in our community. But then we provide some support to Ascend to really do some hands-on in the home case management for those folks. When you're coming off the streets and going into an apartment can be a very surprising type of thing. You don't know exactly how to manage that. So great folks from Ascend go in and help them learn how to grocery shop, remember to pay bills, let's find the best route to the doctor, all those things that it really takes to be stable in housing. So we talk every day, I think.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So I sometimes wonder the value monetarily of a program like Ascend, where with the hundreds of volunteers, with the locations that are maintained by others and no cost. You've worked with Phoenix, you've worked with Central Arizona Shelter System and some of the other great organizations that are working there. What kind of value would you associate to that saves our taxpayers?
The biggest thing that always hits me about, and I've always been a resident of Chandler, so that's funny. But about now working for Chandler is our community is so generous. And because of that, and it's not just generous financially, although that also exists, it's generous in people time, in volunteers that go to Ascend to drive the iHelp bus every day. That's a volunteer position. The iHelp program runs on faith, literally it runs on faith, right? 18 churches around the East Valley participate in that program, and they're not paid anything, and their members aren't paid anything. They take in people experiencing homelessness each night. They provide them a meal. They bus them in and out so as not to impact communities. And we couldn't do any of this stuff that we're doing. All we're paying for is one case manager.
Yeah.
That's it. And yet we get 365 days of shelter and meals and case management. It would be really hard to put a value on our community's capacity to give.
Chandler's a great community for that.
It really is.
Yes, they are.
So you mentioned generosity, and I understand that we're looking at a new campaign to donate by text.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. What's that about?
Yeah, so this is a new thing that we're launching on November 1st, and it's called the Change Up campaign. And the idea is that with the increase in people, unfortunately, living unsheltered, people see people living on the street and they're asking for assistance, whether they're holding a sign or holding out a cup or approaching you at a Circle K. And that can really be not only dangerous for the person. I mean, if you're standing out in traffic, obvious dangers, you're approaching a car, you don't know what's going on there. It's not a safe thing to do, and it's not safe to continue to live on the streets. So our idea is to help Chandler residents change the way they give. So this Change Up campaign is really focused at residents, and we would like to make people aware that perhaps giving to someone that's living on the street, whether it's at a stoplight or wherever, it might help them for that 1 minute, whatever it is that they need, but it's not really contributing to a long-term solution for them. And every single day that they stay out on the street is hurting their longevity and quality of life. So that day matters to me, right? So I want to get people off the street as quickly as possible. So we're going to be doing some education through signs, both on streets and at bus stops and on shows like this and everything we can think of to let people know there's a better way to give. So we have created a phone number. You can text the word Change Up to that number, and those donations will go straight to our homeless navigation team and other programs like that will actually go find the people experiencing homelessness and provide services that will actually end their homelessness. So that's just a little bit about the Change Up campaign.
That's pretty cool, because we also know not everyone who holds a sign that says homeless, we don't really know a lot of the backstory. I know our navigators have gone out and have discovered that a significant percentage are people that this becomes a job. And I've heard our police are nice, our people are generous, and this is perhaps a short-term but simpler solution than finding another job.
This is true, actually. I've been out recently actually talking to some of these folks, and some folks are precariously housed, or often they're just raising the money they need every day to continue to stay in a hotel. Some nights they make it, sometimes they don't. And we want to make sure that all the money we're giving is really going to make a difference. So I think this is, just that. It's a great way to make sure, be confident that your donations are going to something that's really going to help. And hopefully if we stop giving on the street, less people will be asking on the street.
Very good. Well, Priscilla, we'll start with you. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about related to homelessness in Chandler or Ascend or iHelp?
Yes, I would just let everybody know, if they want to learn more about Ascend, they can look at our website at www.ascend.org if they want to learn more of our programs, and if for donations too. Yeah.
Very good. A former iHelp Ascend client, if I could use that phrase, called me this morning. And he does this infrequently, and we talk about what's going on, what he's concerned about this. He's never once, he's been out of experiencing homeless for 2 years now. He's never once asked me for a dime, but he still appreciates what Ascend has done and the relationships that he's built along the way. So he's become a personal friend that we talked about his girlfriend, what's going on there, about how he's excited about the job that he's in, and it's helping him with this, and the car that he was able to purchase. And it's been a life changer for him. He had experienced a heart attack, and I doubt that he would still be alive if he had not found iHelp and was able to receive the help that was there, that was able to get him back on life. So saving lives one at a time.
Yes, we do have a lot of success stories in back of iHelp, because I even get Facebook messages from a prior client of iHelp who lives in Las Vegas, and he always reaches out and always thankful that he did find iHelp himself, because now he's in a better place. Yeah, and he does donate to iHelp too.
Wow.
Yes, yes.
That's exciting.
Yes, we have a lot of people that do come back and are thankful. And we can do it without the community and the volunteers and everybody that has a passion to be there to help people experiencing homelessness. Yes.
So I think one last question for you on this is, tell us how we ended up tying in with the National Park System a year ago, and we ended up having several of our iHelp folks actually work for the National Park System in the Grand Canyon, et cetera.
Oh, yeah. So we worked with Arizona at Work, and they introduced us to the Grand Canyon and sent us a flyer if people were interested in going to the Grand Canyon to get to work there. So we had 3 clients that went to the Grand Canyon and worked there and never came back. They're doing good. They love it. And we're still getting flyers and giving them out to our clients and see if they're interested. And they do reach out to us and like, send us some more clients, because they're really doing good there.
It's not just a person and a sign. It's a story. It's a life. And thank you for being part of that. Well, I want to thank you both for coming and for all that you individually as well as collaboratively do to help address homelessness in our community. And thank you for watching. Again, I'm Kevin Hartke, and this is Chandler in Focus.
Meet Jim. Jim has a huge heart and loves to help others. Jim has noticed people asking for help on the side of the road and wonders what he can do. That's when Jim learns about the Change Up campaign. By texting Change Up to 44321, he can help people get off the street. His donation helps fund Sue. Sue also has a huge heart and loves to help others. Sue works as a professional outreach worker and has experience helping people get back on their feet. As a result of Jim's giving, Sue is able to provide access to shelter and health care, food and transportation, and help people looking for housing and employment. Because of the Change Up campaign, Jim can be confident that his donation is being put to good use. Sue can do her job more effectively, and people experiencing homelessness can get the help they need. Join Jim and change the way you give.